I remember a friend was going through a very challenging time, and she shared her story of what was going on. I could sense that she was hurting deeply. The situation was not right. It was painful and potentially threatened to sabotage her great public image. I said to her, "You have nothing to be ashamed of. At the time, you were making an adult decision with someone you loved and trusted. This person should feel shame for being a bully and indiscreet, not you." We said a prayer together, and for the first time, she felt free. She went on to create a global movement that will set others free. Life is beautiful, yet it is in the challenges that we discover our strength, true purpose, and life's most beautiful gifts. We are all tested. I have been through many tests. I have questioned God and the universe, yet through it all, I have always found greater strength and my way back to light. You see, the pain you feel inside is not your crucifixion. It is your resurrection. It is time to tap into your divine power because you are not a victim. When you hear the thunder, when you feel the storm, do not cower under the sheets. It is time to boldly step outside. It is time for you to rise up. It is time for you to call on your divine queen within and with power and conviction, command that this mountain be moved. You have that power within you. And you know what? If the mountain will not move, get fierce with yourself and climb that mountain. It may appear that what you're going through, it may seem hard, unfair, and painful. You might feel lost, weak, or totally out of control. But you get to transform all that pain, shame, guilt, and suffering, all that felt impossible, and make a decision today to transform your life. Pain, shame, disappointment, abandonment, adversity are all your boiler points to success. It has felt like your crucifixion. It has felt like you have reached the end. But I want to tell you today that you can make the decision to claim your resurrection. Today, you can claim your mountaintop experience. You can command with elegance, by the way, that this mountain shall be moved. Remind yourself and claim today, I will rise like the great woman I have always seen inside. I will rise because it has always been my destiny. I will rise because I have the power to claim and speak life into every situation. This is not my crucifixion. Today, right here, right now, I decide. This is my resurrection.
Welcome to the High Value Woman Workshop. I want to share with you a poem from Rupi Kaur. And it says, I do not want to have you to fill the empty parts of me. I want to be full on my own. I want to be so complete, I could light up a whole city. And then I want to have you cause the two of us combined to set it on fire. I really love this poem because, when I thought about the High Value Woman Workshop, I looked at the greatest challenges of all of the women that I have worked with all over the world. And what I see as a recurring theme of us as women always looking for things outside of us to validate us, to fill us up, to make us feel worthy of whatever it is that we're doing. Whether you are looking to that next client to tell you that you are really good at what you're doing to validate your success, or maybe over accumulating certificates to say that, yes, I am professional enough, I am qualified enough. And we are always looking at these external things to fill us up when I want you to know that you can be whole today, that you are whole today, and that you right now is enough. And while we can all personally up level and we can all use some of the strategies and exercises that I'll share with you here today, but knowing that you are enough and that it is merely a building upon, and that you're merely enhancing, refining, or growing in yourself, but that starts with a self-acceptance. That starts with you knowing that you are high value now, and that you are merely accumulating a wealth of value as you continue to add these other areas, add to these other areas in your life. So today I'll share with you how to confidently claim your worth in business and life. Okay, so you're going to be getting insights on that. You learn how to develop a signature style that makes you irresistible, how to up-level your personal brand presence to skyrocket your success in business and in life. And I'll also share with you, some of the things that you can do right now to help you. So I want you to stay till the end. I have some very exciting things to share with you. So make sure that you catch the entire workshop. I also have some assessments and things that you will do to follow along with me. So I hope that you have a pen and paper. For those of you meeting me for the first time, I'm Hannah Fitz, founder of the Brand Atelier at hannahfitz.com. I'm an international brand strategist, powerhouse presence coach, and business strategist for entrepreneurs who are looking to build a world-class brand and really grow their presence globally. I've worked with women in over 25 countries globally, and many women are not able to or don't allow themselves to fully shine and create more financial success and professional success because no one really teaches us how to value ourselves, right? No one told you that you are worth XYZ. Like no one really validates to you, well, what is the real value, or how do you actually assess the value that you bring to the table? So we're kind of left to figure it out on our own and use all kinds of things to validate us. And sometimes our ideas or the meanings around how we think value is created in the world are so skewed and so far from the truth. There's a lot of talk about self-love, and I don't think anyone here doesn't love yourself. Like, I think you actually love yourself, right? You probably take really good care of yourself, or maybe you do have an appreciation for yourself. You're not in a place where you hate yourself, right? Otherwise, you'd not be here searching and improving and looking to take your personal presence, your professional presence to the next level. Personally, I have been through a major up level in my life for more than a decade ago, having helped many women and clients like, for example, our client Melissa, who went from earning 5 figures in her business for many years to now running a multi-6-figure brand and is well on her way to a $1 million brand as a life coach. And I really wanted to share this because I think sometimes the life coaches in the room think that you cannot get paid well for your brilliance, right? Because you might think that life coaching is something intangible, and how do you actually, you're not a business coach that can say, well, I'll help you make $1 million or whatever it is, right? So it's all of those pieces. I have also Dora, who, went from being scared. She was literally scared and really holding back, really uncertain about her value in the world. And now she's opened up a fashion boutique in a beautiful European sea-town location. We have Kinta, who first came to me as an employee, who had a big desire, but was holding back on shining her light and creating an international consultancy. She found romance. She has an international consultancy traveling the world, and she has also found her soulmate and really knowing that she's truly worthy of the best that life has to offer. In fact, she's one of those clients who's been to all of my retreats, global retreats, and I'm really, really happy to see her growth over the years. And that's the beauty of sometimes when I get to work with a client over a longer period of time to see their evolution. So, these are just some of the things that happen when you shift into the space of being the high value woman. I know personally in my own journey, at the beginning. I thought I was a confident individual. I was top of my school when I graduated university. You know, I was, you know, I attracted guys when I went out. I was, I didn't think that I was not being a high value woman. But around 2010, you know, I had a situation in my personal life that really lifted the veil on all of my insecurities, all of my fears, all of the things that were keeping me playing small and really prizing everybody else except myself. And sometimes we can do that where we make the client the prize, we make the guy the prize, we make the job the prize. And really, I did not see myself as the prize, if I'm really being honest. And over the years, through a lot of work, working with my own coaches, doing my own deeper inquiry and reading and even writing my book as well, has really, and coaching my own clients has really allowed me to step into a whole different space in my life where I have transformed, one of the things that I'll show you today, my whole self-concept. And this is really an important piece that I'm going to be sharing with you that I hope that you will walk away with and that will enrich your life. Okay. Now, when I decided to be a high value woman, that's when I started my own consulting firm in 2010. And my clients have been diverse, from luxury award winning resorts to fashion retailers, designers, doctors, lawyers, coaches, consultants, high profile celebrities, and public figures. You know, I was also hired by a Canadian funded company in the Caribbean to rebrand a small town. I also created a luxury lifestyle magazine that was being distributed in room at luxury hotels. I no longer do that physical magazine, but we do have our digital magazine coming out as well, that you will also get to enjoy. I lived in Milan. I changed locations completely. I felt I needed that new slate, that new perspective, and that environment that would allow me to grow certain aspects of myself. And that was when I moved to Milan, not knowing any person, not even knowing Italian. I just rented a place online and moved to Italy for about 2 years, where I eventually learned the language, made many amazing friends and clients, and really broadened the horizon and the scope of my work that I do today. I've been featured in global media like Wear Milan, Huffington Post, and I was selected as the Alumni of the Month for Anglia-Ruskin University, which is my undergraduate alma mater. You must know that also in my quest to feel worthy and to feel like, you know, I was a success, I was really in the status quo. So even though I always knew I would exist in the world of brands and creativity and fashion and doing that sort of work, maybe, you know, the spiritual realm was not so much on my horizon yet, but there was an inkling that whatever I did, I wanted to do, it was not going to be conventional. But I followed the conventional path. I got an undergraduate degree in corporate management. I got a master's degree in international commercial law, focusing on intellectual property and e-commerce. I kind of gave myself that entry into brand strategy. But then I realized, you know, because in my society, to be recognized, to be respected, you had to be a lawyer or a doctor, right? Otherwise, you didn't really have a real job. Nobody really respected what you did. And so I was really towing the line for a while until I decided, you know what, I need to find my own path. I need to listen to that inner truth, that inner voice. It took a lot of courage and willpower and self-belief to really break away from a lot of the generational codes, a lot of the societal codes, and a lot of my parents' codes that I had grown up with, to really redefine and reinvent myself in the world. Now, this is perhaps the most challenging piece, but I have to tell you that it can be done. You will, if you're in a place where you're looking to reinvent yourself or even take yourself to the next level, that it is possible. But I want you to remember something that Damon John from Shark Tank shared this week. And he said, if you are not living your dreams, then you are living your fears. If you are not living your dreams, then you are living your fear. So if you are in a place in your life where you are not living your dream, it means that your fear is in the driver's seat. And that is a good way to assess it, because if you are living your dream, then you are living from a space of love. You know, you have to remember that in life, there are only two choices: fear and love. So when we make decisions, for instance, when I left my job, it was a recession. There was a recession going on. I wasn't sure, but the fear, if I was living in fear, I would have stayed. Because I chose love, I chose to follow my passion, my path, that calling. I was choosing love. And that is how my life also transformed radically. And, you know, I get to live my dream because of making that choice. A lot of times what I see with my clients is, for instance, you probably already have your business. Maybe you're not earning as much as you need to be earning in it. And that fear of charging your worth because you think people won't buy, or you won't have anyone to sell to, or you don't know people who will buy this package, or whatever it is, it does all of that self-doubt that keeps you living in fear instead of living your dream. Maybe you have an idea of something that you want to launch and you're questioning whether it is viable, whether people will want it. You're questioning everything about it, so you're not taking action, and so you're living in fear instead of living in love. All right, and so it really is important to make that shift. And I'm reading some of the comments here. Yes, that's good when you make that shift. Absolutely, Ladon, making that shift is really important, right? And just remembering that really and truly, you're always making two choices. You're either giving into your fears or you're giving into love. And I can tell you that it is not always easy. I had to take big risks and big chances. And to take big chances, it means that you have to redefine who you think you are or what you think you're capable of, right? So when I first started my business and I wanted to invest in a coaching program that far exceeded anything I had in my bank account, to take that risk, to bridge the gap, to take a loan, to whatever it took to do it, I had to believe in myself. And that is what being a high value woman is. It's that self-belief, it's that conviction that you absolutely can succeed in whatever you do. When you absolutely believe that you can succeed in whatever you do, you will take action from a whole different space. It is when we have self-doubt, it's when we have the question of, will this work for me? Is it going to work out, that we absolutely hold back and we do not take the big leaps that we're meant to, or we're sort of waiting for that safety net. And what I do know in my own journey, and everybody's different, but in my own journey is, usually the universe sort of gives you that first 200 meters and you take that step and then it starts to open up more to you. That is what faith is. But faith cannot occur if your self-concept, if your self-belief is not in alignment with where you desire to go. So our fear is sometimes running the show, and common fears are running out, not having enough, being alone, fear of failing, getting embarrassed, embarrassing yourself, embarrassing others, not being liked or loved, or being seen as arrogant or selfish. And I think what this whole being a high value woman and redefining yourself calls us to be is to redefine what these things mean. And to redefine, when I say redefine who you are, if you truly believe that you will run out of money, of time, or whatever it is that you're afraid of running out, who are you saying you are when you believe those things? And really redefine, like, the woman that you desire to be, what does she actually believe? Is she believing that there is lack, that there isn't enough? Is she believing that if she shows up as the best version of herself, that people won't like her? Is she believing that if she says no, people will think that she's selfish? Or is she believing that if she does a Facebook Live, people will think, well, who does she think she is to be the expert? What is that next level of version of yourself? Who is that woman? What is her attitude? You have to redefine yourself to embody that now. Okay. Now, for those of you who are here for the first time, I want you to really, as we're talking about making the choice between fear and love, I want to take you through a self-assessment. So I hope that you have a pen and paper, and I want you to give yourself on a scale of 1 to 5, what are you making these things mean, or where are you on the scale? So scale meaning never, and 1 meaning never, and 5 meaning very often. Okay, so you're going to rate yourself on these questions that I'm going to ask. You find it hard to say no, and you often find yourself helping and going out of your way for others and feeling hurt and resentful when they don't reciprocate. On a scale of 1 to 5, is that never for you? With 1 being never and 5 being very often. Do you find yourself overextending yourself for others and then feeling resentful or slightly hurt that they're not reciprocating? On a scale of 1 to 5, you're always worried about how others will perceive you. So you try to be perfect. You find yourself always in the process of making sure that something is absolutely right before you put it out there. And sometimes you never even put it out there because it never is right. On a scale of 1 to 5, how much does that reflect you? With 5 being very often and 1 being never. If someone doesn't respond to your message, you take it personally. You feel offended or hurt. The next one is when someone tells you, you know it, makes you feel rejected. When someone tells you no, it makes you feel rejected. So maybe someone doesn't buy what you're selling or whatever it is, you feel rejected. Or maybe you invited someone to do something and you feel rejected that they said no. You tend to find yourself saying, I'll do it for the exposure. So instead of selling your services, you're saying, I'll do it for the exposure. Or you're cutting the price just to like really low, I'll do it for the experience sort of thing. You feel uncomfortable to receive gifts and feel like giving something in return. So when someone gives you a gift, like you have to give them something, you feel almost obligated to give them something back. You constantly doubt yourself, and that keeps you from taking bold action and achieving your dreams. You feel bad buying expensive gifts for yourself. In fact, you wouldn't even dare buy yourself a $2,000 handbag, even if you had the money in the bank. You are constantly working and feel guilty when you're not in action. Like that little voice that tells you, you shouldn't be taking a vacation, or you should not be resting, like you should just be working and giving. You feel guilty if someone sees you on vacation or whatever. 10, you take everything personally. You're very sensitive. So you're very sensitive, like if someone says something, you take it personally. And I didn't want you to tally up your scores. So if you are scoring between 1 and 20, congratulations. You are a high value woman. And of course, we are all on the journey and always looking to improve, but you are well on your way. If you scored between 30 and 50, know that there is some work to do. I don't want you to feel down on yourself. It's just a new level of awareness. And to me, that is the most exciting part, that when we recognize like where we are, big transformations can happen. Like some of my clients who have gotten the biggest transformations have been those who were probably scoring the lowest or the most, because in this case, it's sort of backwards. And then they have that awareness that, oh my goodness, I need to shift those things. And things start to unfold really fast. So I want you to know that you're still in a really good place, because now you have the awareness of what needs to improve. So in terms of the first steps that you need to take in terms of being a high value woman, in fact, I want to define for you who is a high value woman. So a high value woman masters her emotions. So you are really introspective, and you are not ruled by fear. You are confident in yourself. you're not constantly doing to prove to everyone that you're ambitious or successful. You feel very secure in your capabilities, in your mastery, in what you bring to the table. You're very comfortable in charging a high value for your work because you know that you're absolutely worth it. You have certain standards and you are unapologetic for those standards, so you don't lower your standards, okay? You know what you want. You have a lot of clarity about your vision, about who you are in the world, and you are unapologetically showing up as yourself. You are not the type of person who waits for opportunities to happen. You go out and you get them, and you ask for what you want, okay? High value women take action, okay? And they know when to take action and when to lean back. So a lot of times you might find yourself constantly in action, constantly doing, constantly playing the Miss Independent role and not allowing to receive what you desire, right? But the high value woman understands that, you know, there is a balance between taking action and leaning back and allowing for things to come. And that's where the trust, the confidence, like you're so confident that this is going to happen, you're able to lean back in your Empress chair and really know that everything is unfolding as it should. A lot of times, if you're not relaxed, if you're like constantly feeling like if without you, it won't happen, and those sort of messages, it really is time to shift that. So I'm committed to helping you build a solid foundation based on love, passion, and purpose, and really to liberate yourself from the past, heal the wounds and the generational codes that really keep you in the cycle of not showing up as your powerhouse self, okay? Like we all have that powerhouse version of ourselves. And that is what you want to invite to the world. Don't wait for you to make $1 million to show up as that. In fact, this is why the money will come when you show up as your powerhouse self. Then you begin to attract things with greater flow into your life, okay? When you are confident and you're less emotional, you don't do so many things and take things personally. I want you to think about, like, where in your life have you been creating something or trying to create something, and it brings up a lot of emotion for you? It's like not manifesting yet, like you've been calling, but it hasn't happened yet. Like, what are the emotions that are surrounding this? Are the emotions more negative or positive? Do you feel relaxed whenever you think about it, or do you feel anxious? And one thing that I want you to know is that confidence is a knowing. A lot of people, like I had someone get on a call with me and say, you know, I really lack confidence. And what I say to her is sometimes it's not that you lack confidence. What I recognized with this particular person was that she lacked self-discipline. And I will explain. To be a high value woman, you must become a woman who does what she says she will do. The more you create room for not doing the things you say you will do, the more it diminishes your confidence. If you say, I will go X place today or this month, or I will go on a vacation to the Maldives this year, and this year passes and you didn't go. I mean, if it's a pandemic, okay. But if you could have gone, but because of fear, and then you started looking at your bank and wondering, my goodness, if I go, maybe I'll run out, blah, 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 whatever, you talk yourself out of it, you don't go. That's a disappointment that's sitting there. That's bringing down your confidence. You have not manifested your desire. That brings down the confidence. You say, okay, I'm going to launch my business. You don't do it. That's another unfulfilled desire. That diminishes confidence. Then you say, I'm going to wake up at 5 o'clock and work out every day at 5 a.m. 5 a.m. comes, you turn off the alarm, you go to sleep. That diminishes your confidence. You have not honored your word to yourself. So if you want to build self-confidence, and you want to elevate your internal value of how you see yourself, you must become the type of woman who honors her word to herself. Okay? And so it's you doing that that will build your confidence and help you show up even more powerfully in the world. So one of the things that I want you to keep in mind when you're looking at becoming a high value woman or elevating your status as a high value woman is really about rebranding your energetic identity. And in my coaching programs, I share with our clients how to create your alter persona more authentically. What I mean by that, I've been talking about it a little bit since we've been here this afternoon, about really looking at being that higher version of yourself now. And we typically go through a process of looking at the archetypes and looking at self-concept and all those different pieces to really help you step into that next level version of yourself today, not tomorrow, today. And so you're really recreating your energetic identity is part of the process. And how do you do that? Well, one of the things that I want you to realize is that sometimes if you may not be maybe so proud of your ancestral heritage, but our ancestral heritage also has gifts for us or have given us gifts, all right, that are energetically valuable or add to our wealth today. And so I want you to really look into your family legacy and start pulling out those positive aspects. Those things that you want to carry with you or reinforce with you the type of woman that you are. Were there strong women who were independent and fierce creators in your heritage? Were there very intelligent people in your heritage? Sometimes leaning on those positive aspects can energetically shift us into really realizing the wealth we have. I think one of the things that I really invite clients to do, and we do it in my private coaching and also in the Aphrodite Code, is really around really recognizing the wealth that you already have. I think we have been taught to define wealth by what's in your bank account. But what's in your bank account mainly occurs because of the wealth that is in you that you're able to use intelligently to help you create those material pieces. So the spiritual wealth that you have, your intelligence or your creativity, all of these things make you valuable. All of these things make you a wealthy woman now. And when we begin to look at those treasures, both the inherited treasures of our ancestry lines and the type of people, the characters that you want to keep going, because obviously there are things that you need to burn, that you need to let go of from your heritage, from your ancestry, because it no longer serves you. But there are treasures there that are meant to help you recognize the wealthy woman that you are today. Okay? So I really want you to, after this workshop, to go through the exercise and just look through your bloodline and look at the favorable or the desirable characteristics that you want to pull and that you want to honor in this time now and claim as your treasures on which you will build your material wealth in the world. Okay? The other thing that in terms of energetic identity, I talk about our core values really being key in how we create meaning in the world. So a lot of times we are taught certain things that are creating creative barriers in our life, or that are not allowing us to step into the most expansive version of ourselves. Whether it is our beliefs around money, our beliefs around morality, our beliefs around spirituality, all of those pieces do impact how we behave in the world. Now, I'm not sharing with you that you need to, break loose and do crazy things, but there are some belief systems that are keeping you in a box. and keeping you from stepping into that alta persona, that's stepping into a higher energetic vibration. Things that rules that you made up about life. And so it's really about reassessing what you believe to be true, questioning your values, the things that you have held to be true in your life, really putting everything that you do under a microscope, because sometimes we just wholesale accept that this is the way it is when it may not necessarily be true, right? So when I was like thinking of leaving my full-time job, you know, there were people who were like, oh, well, maybe you should start the business on the side and wait to accumulate enough money and then go and build a business. I knew that was not me. The business would not work if I did it that way. If I had stayed in my job and I tried to do the business on the side, I would not have showed up with the same level of commitment. I know that about myself. You have to know who you are. Because I would have my cushy salary and it would be comfortable. And, you know, there's no need to really make this work. Like I get my salary anyway. And so I knew I had to burn the bridge, right? I mean, when I say burn the bridge, I didn't leave on bad terms, but I mean, like I had to cut loose with my full-time job and say to myself, this has to work. And because I knew I had to make it work, I showed up differently than if I was trying to do it on the side. Now, that may not work for everybody, because for some people, if you know yourself, the fear is too great. And if the fear is too great, if you're out there trying to do it on your own without maybe having that safety net, it won't work for you. So I think it's really about doing that self-assessment and really knowing who you are. You know, a lot of times it's not so much about completely or radically changing who you are, but progressively easing into it and working with your true nature. Okay, because not everybody needs the same formula. And that's why I really enjoy working with my clients personally, because there's no one formula for everybody. Everyone operates differently. And for some clients, like I remember one of my clients, you know, she, to scale her business for years, she was under earning because she had those rules about life, about what it means to be in business, about what her work was actually worth, what she could potentially charge for it. She had beliefs about maybe people would see her as someone who was just in it for the money, not really recognizing that she is actually providing value and should be compensated for that. And so in doing the work with her, we were able to work with her nature to transform that so that she could step into a higher level and really claim a higher value for her work, which she's now doing. And I'm extremely proud of her. You know, I had another one who now has a multi-million-dollar business because of that shift of energetic identity, shifting the value system, shifting the belief system, shifting what you believe is possible for you. Sometimes we're thinking this much is possible for us, or we don't even realize that we're settling for this when there's so much more available, right? You are bigger than the next client that you enroll or whatever it is. Like you are so much bigger and more expansive than that. Okay, and when you see yourself in that way, you become less anxious about what next or how that unfolds, to being more open to receiving what is exactly aligned with you. Now, whatever you attract is aligned with you. So I want you to know that. If you like, you need to also realize that shifting your energy is going to shift the energy of the people that you attract around you. Okay, so, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, well, Hannah, you can get those celebrity clients or those high-end clients. No, it's about me. Also, at first it was unconscious, to be honest. I didn't realize that energetically I was at first naturally attracting those sort of higher end clients. But after a while, I began to study like how can someone recreate that, or how can I more consciously create that? And it really has to do about how you see yourself. because how you see yourself is how others will see you, and it will impact what you attract into your life. So I hope that you are getting this and that it is resonating with you. Now, there's something called your effective presence. That's another energy piece. Your effective presence is what impacts how others feel about you in your presence. So are you forgettable or are you memorable? Do they see you as a high value or a low value woman? Are you seen as an expert or masterful or amateur? Or are you indispensable or dispensable? The importance of not only being a high value woman, but building a brand presence that reflects, all that you can become and affects your effective presence is what is key. That's why we build our brand. That's why we consciously create those things to impact our effective presence. And you can do that. Simple shifts. Like, if you go into a room, don't go to the back seat and sort of hide in the corner. Show up. If you wear the dress, don't walk with your shoulders shrugged. Your body language is part of your effective presence as well. You don't want to walk into the room, head down, shoulders back. No, you want to walk in and own the room. And you might say, well, Hannah, I'm introverted. I just prefer to be in myself. Your commitment to yourself, if you're looking for growth in your career, you're looking to get connected, you're looking to build connections, you have to consciously in that moment build the persona of this is what I'm here to do, and I'm going to show up with a bigger presence today. Okay, to become impossible to ignore, to become unforgettable, high value, sought after, interesting, fascinating. Okay, and you want to really be clear about, like, how do you want to be remembered? Who are you at the core? What are those attributes that you already embody that make you unforgettable? So in our programs, we have something called the Cultured Life Prep, and we also have something called the Personal Performance Assessment, where you go through like your alter persona. You go through assessing how to build that powerhouse presence. So any of you interested in that, you can also, after this session, you can book a consultation call to learn more about how we work with you on those pieces. The third part that I want you to be aware of is your impression management. It's not just about how you are impressing others, but how do you impress yourself? Okay, when you look in the mirror, are you impressed with who you are today or how you're showing up? Yes, we can all do it, maybe better clothes or whatever it is, or whatever you want to improve. But in the absence of that, like, are you showing up in an energetic presence that you are proud of? Or are you showing up, are you doing the best you can with what you have? Or are you just like, I don't care, one day I will fix my wardrobe, and you're just wearing anything? You're not showing up for the moment. You're not showing up at the level that you want to be received, or really impressing yourself and creating opportunities to raise your energy. You want to look at your personal, like, is your personal and professional brand image and positioning you at the level that you desire to be? So I know that this can be a challenging one for a lot of people in terms of really understanding how to communicate what it is that you do, the value of what you do, and really show up powerfully in what you do. And this is one of my gifts. This is what I really enjoy doing with clients. But what I'm sharing with you here today is like the foundation piece, right? We can get into like building your brand, working on your messaging, repositioning you to attract more desirable clients or whatever it is that you desire. But the first piece, which is what we're working on here today, is your energetic blueprint. Who you are being, not who you are acting like or trying to be or sometimes being, but who are you being? Okay. And then you want to look at those pieces around your visual, written, body language, spoken cues that are reflecting who you are in the world. Okay, so really pay attention. Body language is important. A lot of our communication is nonverbal. Okay, we are visual beings. So what are the visual cues that you're putting out there? Does it reflect the high status that you want to create in the market? When you speak to others, do you speak with confidence or do you speak with hesitation, with fear? You know, one of my clients was saying to me, he was trying to hire a photographer, and you know, the guy kept saying to him, oh, but you know, the price is the way it is because, you know, it's so much work, and that's how the price should be. And he just felt like the guy lacked confidence, and he was like, I don't even know if I want to work with this guy. Like, he kept trying to justify his price and tell me how valuable the item is at the price it is. I just feel like I don't want to work with someone who doesn't really believe or have the confidence to just charge their worth. Clients pick up on that. That's what I mean by your impression, and really being conscious about how you're creating in that way. Okay. So how do you up level your brand presence and skyrocket your success? Well, once you have taken care of all of those pieces and you've built your brand, you have your right positioning, your messaging, the final piece of the puzzle is really amplifying your powerhouse presence by creating a remarkable signature style. And we help you do that with our Globally Irresistible Distinction Report. I think some of you have my book, The It Factor. If you don't have it, I want you to send an email to our marketing@hannahfitz.com. And I want to gift you that book because it has some powerful insights in there for you. So you can send an email to marketing@hannahfitz.com and request a free copy of The It Factor because it's actually being sold. And you can learn more about the It Factor and creating your signature style. But what I want you to know is that a lot of behavioral strategists say that, you know, and researchers, when consumers are facing alternative choices, they combine knowledge with affective feelings about a product to form an overall evaluation about the brand attitude. So if you want to have a standout brand, not only do you have to have a standout presence, but you must have a presence that translates the complex informations, the methodologies, the things that you do into ways that are desirable and that impacts your ideal client emotionally at a deeper level. Because in the absence, when there are many choices to make, people they rely on their emotions, their gut feeling, right? So how do you amplify your presence? Again, we want to use things like, you know, your platforms and your power networks. So really building up your platforms, whether it's your social media, whether it is your website, and all of those tools that allow you to create what we call artifacts, or I call it breadcrumb effect. So if you're looking to really send out a clear message that you're a high value coach, consultant, entrepreneur, employee, whatever it is, I want you to go and reassess your social media. What are you posting there? Is that reflective of the woman you desire to be and how you want people to see you in the world? And really redefine for yourself what that is. Okay, because the key part of building your brand is how to help you build trust, impression management, and reputation management. And how you build your reputation is you start to show your value by you start to invite people to experience the value that you create through your assets, right? So you might have, like I said, your website, your social media where you're sharing content. I always advise clients we create a publicity plan where, and sometimes we also provide publicity packages where you get more into the media and you start getting the exposure. But I highly recommend, before you start putting the spotlight on your brand, that you really, on yourself, that you really get clear within yourself about how you're showing up, who you are as a high value woman. You start claiming that value. You start being that woman today, and you also start to really clarify how you're positioning yourself, your messaging, and everything else. And then you shine the light on it, because you don't want to go out there and putting publicity out there, and then you have to go 2 months later and say, oh, oops, I'm going to do this instead now. Right? Because people like to see consistency in how you're showing up. And yes, of course, you are a multi-dimensional being, and maybe like me, many of you are creative and have many different talents, but you also want to streamline and become masterful and known for something. Okay, so I hope that this is clarifying that for you. But one thing that I want you to remember is that you have to be the brand. Every woman has her own brand of magic. And one of the things that I love about the work we do with archetypes for our clients is really understanding what are those combinations. We're not one thing. Okay, we have combinations that really help us define or that really shed light on who we really are. And I know when I give clients those reports, they are always surprised to see, like, oh my gosh, Hannah, this really is me. But it really also helps you streamline and identify your brand of magic more clearly and say, yes, this is more, I want to bring more of that into my brand, into my career, into my business. Or I don't want to bring that. I don't really like that aspect of it. You get to choose. Okay, while you're being authentic, not everything will serve your brand. And so you get to choose what you want to bring to the public eye, to the stage. You don't have to, a lot of people get the impression that to resonate with an audience that you need to share all of your laundry in public. And that's not true. That's what being a high value woman is, like standing in your power, knowing where you're drawing those lines and boundaries, knowing what you're available for, what you're not available for, and really being unapologetic in how you show up in those areas. Okay. And I really want you to keep that in mind. So I want to open up. I know that we have quite a few of you, and I know there are quite a few new people here today. So I just want to give you an opportunity. If any of this resonated with you, I want to give you an opportunity just to dialogue with me, share with me what your takeaways are, or if you have any questions, I'm available to answer it at this time. Does anyone have anything to share?
Hey, Hannah, it's LaDawn. Good day to you.
Hello, LaDawn. Always a pleasure to have you here.
Oh, it's so good to be here. I really, two quick things. I got the book, your ebook, absolutely mind-blowing. And it's at a perfect time because we're looking at going through a rebrand, and I'm very excited. I know you and I have some time set up next week, but the way you described the pillars of a luxury brand, not even luxury brand, but just a high-end brand, it completely, I read it like 2 or 3 times. I took notes. So it was so jam-packed with information. Thank you so much. And then today's call, what I really loved about the quiz that you had us take is, like, 2 years ago, my numbers would have been different. And this is really just confirmation of the direction to go into. So I love how you talk about branding, but not from the traditional aspect. You really help us focus on the women that we are leading these companies. So I enjoyed today's call so much. Thank you for hosting this.
Thank you so much, LaDawn. I'm so happy to hear this, and I can't wait for our meeting next week for sure. Yeah. Wonderful. I see that we have, do we have Jasmine? I saw you turned on your camera. Hello, I think your mic is muted. There we go. Hi.
Thank you very much for joining. So I don't own a business. I'm an administrative assistant, but many things I've learned today I can put in my work. So I've learned to say no when I mean it, and when it's not good for me to say yes. So thank you very much. And
you're welcome. You're welcome. Great. I'll take one more question before we wrap up. Maria, welcome. One of my favorite clients. Let me tell you, Maria, let me just, let me put a pin on you here. I want everyone to see you. Maria is an incredible woman. Maria, I hope you don't mind me sharing your business, but Maria is 75 now?
I'm 75.
75, rocking it out. She is doing bodybuilding competitions. She has redefined her career and who she is in the world. And Maria is just an incredible inspiration. And I want you all to go follow her on Instagram because she is an incredible woman.
Thank you so much, Hannah. I got a lot from this meeting. I am now prepping for an international competition. I just finished one in Las Vegas this past weekend, and I scored my first overall and against the most gorgeous 58-year-old. So I am just, on cloud 9 right now. But next I go into an international competition, but I'm so glad I took this time out to listen again to the wisdom that you provide. And I thought, I'm going to go back and look at the ancestral piece of what I want to bring from learning what the ancestors have brought, and I've been thinking of my grandfather who worked on the Panama Canal, died in Panama, in that experience and the struggle to bring the family here, and what that brings to me for the future. I'm going to go back and look at all of your notes, and I hope that some of you will join me on social media. I'm at Sheehan Health and Wellness, and I also have a closed Facebook group where I talk to women about how do we flourish as we age. Okay, we have to get over this mentality that at 40, 50 is not going to be good, because ladies, you've got decades to go.
Absolutely. Wonderful. So ladies, I hope you see that at any age, you can redefine yourself. And I'm really happy that 12 years ago, making that decision that I would meet amazing women like Maria and get to work with them and be a part of their legacy story in building their brand and redefining themselves in the world. So this is a beautiful gift. I want to invite each and every one of you, if you're thinking of working with me privately or in any of my programs to take your brand to the next level, to take your life to the next level, I want to invite you to book a call with me. I also want to invite you, for those of you who may be interested, in December, I'll be hosting a special workshop for 10 people only. And it's going to be like a mastermind intensive on preparing for your 2022. And so if you are interested in joining this event, then I also want you to book a call, and you can do so. I'm going to put the link in the chat so you can grab that. And I think Tiana will also be sharing an email after this session where you can also grab the link to book a call. So if you're interested in joining me, it's going to be a one-day intensive. We might split it up over 2 days because I really want to be able to have you have some feedback. So we might do it's going to probably be like 4 hours the first day. And the next day will be a follow-up call to see where you're at, what you've implemented the night after we've met. And how I can support you on the spot so that you're walking into 2022 with your plan, you're not waiting for 2022 to arrive and the same old, right? So I'm going to be able to support you in working through those pieces, how to organize your thoughts and ideas, maybe whatever you're planning to launch, we can also look at that. So definitely someone's asking, how do we get the book? So same thing, you can get the book from Tiana at marketing@hannahfitz.com. But if you're interested in also taking part in this special event, then I invite you to click the link, hannahfitz.com/book your call. And we're going to have more time. I mean, this is like my free workshop. Ladies, I don't think you can imagine what I do with clients in my paid program. So this is just a teaser of what you get. We have something called the Powerhouse Presence, but that's an invitation only program. I do not advertise it, but you have an opportunity to work with me. The event in December will be a paid event, but it will be, because I can work with 10 of you in that container. It's going to be very attractively priced. So I think many of you will find it a very great event for you to be able to work with me at a deeper, richer level where I can actually coach you in that session. Okay. So I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. Thank you so much, ladies. And as always, live the cultured life. Ciao.